And welcome back to another episode of Red Dot Comics Den. It is a very special one. We have a very different setup today. We are here at SGCC. Very exciting. Whoa. Today's podcast episode, of course, the setup is different, but we're here to celebrate almost a year of comics since COMIX.SG has been founded. And I think we should let our founder, Lingying, have, some words to speak about this very special occasion.
Okay, hi guys. Thanks for tuning in. Yes, it has been about more than 2 years since we started COMIX.SG. I don't know if you guys remember, but we started it actually at the start of the pandemic. At that time, COMIX.SG was just an online database for comic artists, and then it was, I think, the year after that we managed to expand the project to include the comics podcast, Red Dot Comics Den. So that's something that we talked about at SGCC's virtual con about a year ago. And yeah, it's been a very long journey since then. We've done a lot of different things. So we're very happy to actually mark the anniversary of Red Dot's Comics Den by being at the physical Comic Con and being able to shoot this inside Comic Con itself. So yeah, it's really been a great year of shooting this podcast, doing Comics.SG. Yep. Very grateful to the team. Thank you.
Yeah, and of course today we have with us two members of our team. We have Sabjaw's Art and we have Rain Yellow. Woo. Just to introduce them a bit, Sab herself, she, other than being a comic artist, she's also a VTuber. She's an affiliate streamer with Theta.tv. And then with Nadrah, Rain Yellow, she is also a comic artist and she's the creator of Arcana Romance, which has over 10k downloads. So it's very popular. One of the most popular visual novels. Yeah. So really, really glad to have her on. And I think today we just kind of even though, okay, the setup looks a bit like a press conference, but we're really just here to chat. We think of it kind of like a round circle where we talk about our experience with Comics.SG, our experience with SGCC. It's just gonna be chill. And I think maybe we can start off just talking about how has your experience with Comics.SG been for you guys?
Hello. Okay, so COMIX.SG, at first I was introduced to COMIX.SG via Nadrah. She's one of my closest friends. We've been friends for quite a while. And she messaged me one day, be like, oh, hey, you want to join COMIX.SG? It's a local comic Discord group. And me first time hearing this and oh hey, local comics is getting, I want to learn more about local comics and get to know more local artists here in Singapore. So I joined, and ever since that day I feel like I believe in COMIX.SG, in what their their motto and what their goal is. And I've enjoyed my time on the Discord and in the community and physically here in Comic Con. Yes.
Okay, as for me, how I started in COMIX.SG is because I needed a job after my course, and I was so lucky to see a job opening under COMIX.SG, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try for this, even though I didn't have any high hopes that I would get it, and then I got it. Yeah, it's such a blessing, really. Yeah, so right after that, it was one of my first serious jobs that I want to make sure that I'll do it really well, because beforehand I've already known quite a number of artists in Singapore who doesn't have much recognition, and I truly believe with what the COMIX.SG is trying to achieve. And so we made this Instagram, Discord server, and also this podcast for people to know about all things locals in terms of comics, which I truly believe in as well. And so I'm hoping that I will continue working with them. And thus, working with them has been a blessing. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, Nadrah, you working with us has been a blessing as well.
Yeah,
we were very happy when Nadrah applied for the position. I mean, she's our first and pretty much like only COMIX.SG staff so far. So we're very, very happy that we had someone so passionate as part of the team, and of course, like, you know, great with details, great with design, all that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, she has been like an instrumental part of the process. Everything you see, designs wise, the podcast, you know, she's always working really hard behind the scenes. So we are really, really happy to have her. And of course, now with Sub on the team, you are a new moderator for our Discord. So how is that different from when you were just kind of like a casual, like, you know, comics.sg participant?
Actually, right, when I first came in, right, I really like the community and what it has become, right. But like when I first started it, right, everyone thought that I was the mod.
Aha, yes.
Hence, like I put like the bracket like free time mod, and then like a few months ago, you guys opened up like, oh hey, who wants to be like a mod in the Discord server to help out towards SG Comic Con. And I'm like, you know what, I'ma do it because everyone thinks I'm a mod, might as well. And I really like talking to the Discord. And then I changed my rank to promoted mod.
Yeah, you guys, if you join the Discord channel, you'll be able to see that.
I am very active in the Discord for sure.
You guys keeping it alive, man. I'm not even that active on there. Did I even introduce myself? I remember I messaged you about this. But like, I didn't. I straight up, I forgot. And at that point, I was like, damn, it's too late now. I can't even do it.
It's never too late.
It's never too late. I mean, I think a lot of the people who watch our podcast or know of our podcast might be on our Discord. And if you haven't introduced yourself yet on the Discord, just do it anytime.
No,
it's okay. It's not
it's
weird.
Two seasons in the Red Dot Comics then, and a year in the Comics.SG. I have not introduced myself on the Discord channel.
Do it.
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
do it.
It's like awkwardly be like, hey
It's
guys.
never too late.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
all these people, all y'all who are also awkward, right? Like, if you guys also, you know, are there for a really long time and you feel like, oh, we're awkward, also need to introduce, you can do it as well. You can join me.
yeah, let's have a new wave of introductions after this episode comes out, okay? So like all of you who are on this YouTube video right now, literally right now, go to your Discord and introduce yourself on the comics.sg server. I mean, there's no reason not to. And you're not the only one. I know, so like Zoo,
Yeah,
NG,
she told me, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the comic artists that have been on our shows, they have joined our Discord, but they still haven't introduced themselves.
No, Zoo told me she was awkward. She was like, oh my god, I'm so shy.
Yeah, exactly. So I just want to say to all these people, like, it's cool to be awkward. It's fine. Just take your time.
Is it cool to be awkward though? Oh my god.
I mean, not just artists, like writers as well are welcome to the Discord, right?
Writers,
Writers,
creators, fans. As part of SGCC and the WIP program, we also had a special like channel specifically for like SGCC promotions. So honestly, like anyone, it's free to join for anybody.
Everyone is welcome.
Anybody. You don't have to be like, oh, I'm an avid comics fan. You know, like honestly, I'm the host of this podcast, right? And I'm sure I like cannot even compare to like what you guys know, or like anybody. You can ask me anything about Marvel, DC. I barely know anything, one. Okay, don't blame me in the comments or like like your men or whatever. I'm very worried. Like later, like guys come to me, like guys in the comments, like, oh my god, why are you the host of a comics podcast when you're like a woman? And then like cancel.
Oh my god,
you're like a woman, you don't know anything about comics, and you're hosting this podcast. Oh my god. Okay, I know something about comics.
No, Viency, you gotta see. I say I don't see it that way at all.
Really.
Honestly, like, I mean, I don't know who is in the audience watching this, right? But if you guys, I mean, who is like, you know, your, like, there are no standards for what a comics fan or comics reader is supposed to be. So, you know, whether you read manga or read Marvel comics or Spider-Man or Archie comics or Calvin and Hobbes or Mr. Kiasu or I don't know what else there is. I mean, there's a lot of comics out there. As long as you read any of these, I think you're fine. And especially Viency, like, you know, if you're a professional working in the comics industry, I mean, I don't think there's any gatekeeping here, lah. Like, I think you are a qualified.
Okay.
fan.
I just don't read Marvel comics, so.
Yeah, I mean, me neither.
Yeah.
I think
I
half
like-
the guests that we have on our show don't read either. I mean, Art Germs himself said that he doesn't
Oh,
read
yeah, you're
these
right.
comics, and he's like
Okay, you know
illustrating the
what?
cover. So I think we're fine.
But safe if Arjun doesn't read it, it's okay. Yeah.
Yes. Agreed.
But okay, like since you're talking about comics and all that right now, I'm also curious, like, how did you guys like start getting interested in comics personally? For me, actually, like, you know, Lingying, you mentioned Archie Comics. Archie Comics was my first. I was like reading this in Popular, like standing next to the Rex back when we still had Archie Comics there, like just sitting there and I was reading. But like, I don't know what about you guys. Like, what was your like? How did you start with comics?
When I was a kid, right, I love going to the library. Specifically the Jurong East Library, right? You know, there's like the basement for like the kids and everything. And then one day, I'm like, I'm gonna be a rebel and go to the 4th floor where all the grown-up kids are. So I went up and I feel hella guilty because I was like a good kid, right? You know, but I went up to the 4th floor, I step out and the first thing I see, comics. And then at the back, manga.
Oh,
Yeah.
a new world.
Yeah, it's like a, you know, Pandora's box is open.
Okay, guys. So 4th floor of Jurong East Regional Library. That's where it's at.
It's gonna close though. I'm so sad.
Yeah.
Right? Like, can't believe.
My childhood is gone. It's going away.
I studied so much over there when I was in
yeah, it's
JC.
same.
How many like teenagers dated in that library, and now it's gonna be gone? You know,
Yeah. But yeah, there's like a plethora of like comic, like Western and manga comics. There's even Chinese comics, if I'm not mistaken, as well. And you know, I grew up, you know, going to the library and like reading literally every single book in the library. So you know, the first comic I read was a Batman comic by Grant Morrison, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I love his work. That's where, you know, I started to like learn anatomy. But when it comes to like drawing in general, it was the manga section for me. And the first one I read from start to end was Inuyasha. That's the very first manga I've ever read. And then, you know, I progressed on to like Rurouni Kenshin. That's another classic. And then, you know, and then I discovered, oh, Pokemon has manga as well. And then, you know, I was a kid, you know, I love Pokemon.
Yeah, I love Pokemon manga.
Indeed. And then like Pokemon Adventures, I read that through as well. And ever since that day, I never stopped reading manga, be it physical or digital. Yeah.
What about you, Nadrah?
Awesome.
Okay. I think I did mention in episode 1 that, you know, I went to the library, I found Ijipac book comics, and then like I continued reading Groot's comics every single day from school. But I think way before that, I do own some manga, and surprisingly, now that I think about it, oh, it was those like thick Detective Conan. I have those volumes in my shelves for some reason.
like very
and
classic.
yeah,
That's a classic right there.
yeah, but you know, back then I don't know what it's trying to say. I don't know what these things are because I was a kid. They mentioned a lot of like science thing and what this invention does, and I just do not know. I just like to see pretty pictures, and that's I just clip through everything. I was like, oh, okay, I'm done reading. But do I digest the story? No, I didn't. Yeah.
Have you ever thought about going back to reading it now as an adult?
Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, yeah, maybe I'll just give it a try again if I could find it at home, because right now, right, I share with my 3 sisters, and then like since we grew up, there's like a lot of shifting around, so I'm not sure if I can find it anymore at home.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Somewhere in your house, there's a lost collection of comics, a treasure trove.
Yeah. But now my comics are all like indie comics or like trending comics like Spy Family. Yeah, those cost a lot.
Spy Fam is pretty expensive right nowadays.
Very popular.
Super
Yeah.
popular.
Yeah. Oh.
Everywhere I go, I hear the opening song. Everywhere I go, literally.
From season 1?
Yeah, season 1 opening.
Yeah.
Like, you know, every shopping mall there's like those comic shop or like anime shop, right? The song is blasting every
and
single
center.
Yes.
Yeah, all the merch as well.
All the merch, like
Yeah.
the screening, the
Yeah, I
trailer
love
and
the
everything.
intro for Spy Family. It's so good.
So good.
Am I gonna get cancelled if I'm the only one who skip intros?
No,
Honestly, no.
Okay. I skip intros also.
Yeah.
I totally skip intros. But
someone
first watch. I watch it like one time on the first episode and then, okay, it depends. Does it pass the I want to watch this intro test? Like, obviously, Spy Family, the intro was so vibrant, so interesting. Like it really fits the spy genre with the visuals and everything. So I was like, amazing. As an animation student, love this. I'm watching this. And then there's some intros that are just like, yeah, it's just your generic anime. Sorry lah. But like your you know how there are like the generic anime intros that people make parodies of with like other shows or
and
something.
then like running from left to right, right to left.
Hand in the sky thing. For those like, even sometimes if your song is good, I'll go YouTube and listen to the song. But I probably won't be watching your intro. I mean, comment down below if you have like intros like that, honestly.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious because like for me, I always watch the intro. I feel like when you watch anime, right, watching the intro is almost like, it's like the appetizer or something. Like it gets you in the right frame of mind.
Right.
Yeah, and for me, this started when I watched Evangelion. Like I always watch, and Cowboy Bebop also, I always watch the intro because I don't know, I can't go straight into the story. I don't really want to go straight into the story. So like for me, I'm an intro watcher.
Actually,
I even watch the end credits sometimes like in full because sometimes like the series is ending, right? Then you're like, oh my god, like I want to savor like every minute of it. Even the intro, then you use it as like time to like reflect on like the stuff and all that. So yeah, I watch intros and credits.
Actually, that's interesting because like you said you're watching this when you were younger, which means like at that, obviously streaming platforms don't happen, and I feel like the skipping of intros is a thing because we're like binging, and when you're binging, you're like, oh, I don't want to be disturbed by like an intro or an end credit. I just next. So I think like it's a cultural thing. Like when you're younger, you can't skip the TV.
Yeah, that's
definitely
true.
a cultural thing.
Yeah.
It's a generational thing. I'm old.
No,
I feel old with you too.
Do you watch every intro for every episode? Like, okay, even now, like let's say streaming platforms. If you're talking streaming platforms, right? Do you still watch?
I tend to watch intros and enjoy intros. Like to me, it's like a different experience every time. But I don't know. Like I mean, obviously, I grew up during the era where we couldn't skip stuff. So like Netflix now, you have a skip intro shortcut, but I just don't use it. Yeah.
For me, personally, depends. Because like, some openings like really iconic, really nice, so I don't skip it. And like, usually when I watch like a series, right, and it comes out every week, I don't tend to skip it because it feels like a breather, for the beginning and the end of the anime, right? And also, got to appreciate the musicians behind, the opening and ending songs. Yeah. But when I'm binging, and I'm on a time crunch, I tend to skip the opening. Like maybe like the first 2-3 episodes, I don't skip it. Because I really like, want to get familiarized and correlate this song to this anime kind of feel. But like after 1 or 2 episodes, I'll just skip it all the way. Yeah.
I think we also have, your children here in front of us, and I think we should talk about them as well. Maybe you can describe your kids to us. I don't know whether the camera can catch because we are quite far, but we will try. Now, Nadrah, you want to start first?
Yeah, Nadrah, it's your turn to start.
Okay, this is my son. Okay, not really my son, kind
No,
of.
it's your son. You birthed him with your art.
Yes.
So cute. You drew him into life.
His name is Ryder Quaint. He wears a blindfold. Yeah.
All of us has tried to look underneath already.
Yeah. Okay, this plush doesn't have eyes because I want to save money. But he's actually supposed to have like 5 eyes underneath, and like he cannot like show his eyes because it'll make people go crazy like in a sense if they see them. And then he's like half Cthulhu, half human, has 4 parents, one of them's a Cthulhu dad. Yeah, and he can like spawn 3 tentacles behind his back.
Yep. Okay, show the tentacles. Woo!
It's like wings.
I love how the tentacles have like heart shapes for the suction cup.
Oh,
Actually,
cute.
it's a funny story. When I showed the design to the manufacturer, it was
maybe
just
during editing we can have a little close up.
when I showed the manufacturer the design, there wasn't any hearts. It's just tentacles, and yet the person was suing it was like, oh, let's just add the hearts anyway on the tentacles. And then the person was like, I'm sorry, the person who sued it accidentally did the hearts on them. So I'm like, oh, okay, never mind, just put it there.
Accidentally?
Yeah. And it's like ironic because he's from a dating sim genre as
Oh,
well.
I like that. Maybe you can be part of the design now. How come 5 eyes makes it so much more expensive?
I have no idea. I'm just trying to save money.
Valid,
I'm guessing
though.
they have to like manually sew in the eyes, I guess. Makes sense. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
It's very
happy
cute.
little accidents, you know, with the
Yeah,
tentacles.
right.
That's what
How
Bob Ross
perfect.
once says. Happy little
Okay, what about your
accidents.
boy?
My boy, my child. Okay, I made this myself. It is a needle felting project, and you know, it was my first project, and the first thing that came to mind was my web comic character. Its name is Grammleen, Grammleen. It's a pun, I guess, and you know, I made some cards, name cards specifically, and they're all like Pokemon inspired. Gremlin is as the title says, Gremlin Freelancer. It is a slice of life 4-panel web comic on Instagram about a freelance gremlin, trying to, go through life as a freelance artist, and, the funny and relatable moments that happen in my life that I manifest through Gremlin. Yeah, and there's gonna be new side characters that are like puns as well, and they are based on like important people in my life. Yeah.
Where can we find your Gremlin comic?
Oh, Instagram. Yeah.
Okay, let's
Definitely.
plug it like down the description.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What about Nadrah's comic? Where do we read your comics?
Oh man, okay. Actually, at first it was just a game, and then I put it in the comic for the anthology book right there. Yeah,
Yep. Let's go plug
Let's
the
go.
anthology.
yeah. So I made so I give them a scenario that what if they play an MMORPG game and then they have their own different classes, and then they play together that game, and then they have the fun adventures. So there's this like 18-page limit, so I had to like make sure like, okay, there is like a small character introduction, making sure that the story fits well with that restrictions. Yeah, so I had fun doing it, and also like at the back I have to make sure I'll do the character information so that people will get to know them a little bit better. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we can also talk a bit more about your visual novel as well, actually, like the
Yes.
working process behind like how you created it, why you decided to create it, how you came up with him.
Oh my god. Because someone did ask like, okay, Nadrah, do you like comic better, doing comics better, or doing game better? I'm like, and then I would just straight up say the truth. Actually, I dislike them both the same.
You dislike them both the same?
Because both takes time to draw. It's just that, okay, comics is just paneling, and then composition, the storytelling, and then every panel needs to make sure that it says the story well. But for visual novels, the game development, you have to think about the coding, the background, the sprites, and then also the sounds. Yeah, so that itself is already one big chunk of problems as well. So in terms of like this visual novel making, I want to like make a short, sweet visual novel where I can introduce all my 8 characters, where people can date them or like, you know, have a funny ending scenarios that they can enjoy. Sab also has played it and now she's giggling herself.
How was your journey on Arcana Romance?
Okay, so I had the privilege to actually play the game one day before she released it.
Like test play.
Like you know, for my stream essentially, and it was hilarious. Every single character have their own unique traits and personality. And what I love about visual novels in general is the variety of branching storylines and endings. So like there's this one character, his name is Husband.
Husband?
Huss space BEN.
Okay.
It's
okay.
a pun, husband, but husband.
So is he husbando enough?
Okay. Can I spoil that? Yes. Okay.
Okay, spoiler alert, spoiler alert.
But I would
skip
highly
it, like,
recommend
timestamp
playing
it.
Arcana Romance. But like, okay, there's this character named Husband, right? He's actually a serial killer. Okay.
Okay, so not
Oh,
husbando.
wow.
But extremely handsome.
Yeah, of course.
no.
Okay, so he's he's like those morally grey. Okay, not
So,
morally
like,
grey.
Bad boys.
The
Yes,
bad
the
boy,
bad
the bad boy.
boys.
So, you got kidnapped, right? And like you are in his like murder dungeon kind of thing.
Okay,
the-
kinky.
Kinky. So the there's one part whereby you get killed, right? You couldn't convince him to let you go. He kills you. There's another one where you convince him and he lets you go. And my favorite ending, she know where this is going, is where he's like threatening to kill you, right? And then your character is like, oh yes, daddy, kill me.
Oh my god. Okay, I want to play this dating sim now. It
Send
sounds
us,
really fun.
I mean links. We put links in the bio.
link
So
it,
send us
link it,
links.
of course.
Yeah.
Play it. And you are in the process of making the second game, right? Arcana Romance 2.
Yes, it's much more lore and like much more story. Yeah, so when after people play the first game, they were like curious, like what is the story behind these characters? Like they can only get introduction of them. They're like wondering why is husband like that, why is this character like that, and so off. So I decided to explore that in the sequel game. Hopefully get it done in 3 years. Yeah. Yeah, Sam is also helping me. And also her fiance.
Yes.
Nadrah, so where do we download the game?
Oh, you can download it for free on Kocho app. So it's available on Play Store and also Google Play. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
so
you gotta go
guys-
check it
Yeah,
out.
you guys gotta go Google Play and find
Google Play and iOS,
Arcana
right?
Romance.
Yeah,
iOS.
Oh, okay. Readily available.
Yeah, actually, I mean, I think that's a good time for us to go to talk about the anthology because both of you participated in the anthology this year, and I think in terms of the things that we achieved this year as COMIX.SG, the anthology is definitely a big thing. It's a print anthology. There's 22 artists inside, and all contributing different kinds of stories. We're hoping to do this every 2 years. So yeah, like as our first batch of artists, I'm just curious to hear from you guys, like, what was the experience like working on this?
Oh man, honestly, stress, but fun. Because you know there's a time limit, and you know us like artists, right? We tend to procrastinate.
Yep.
We tend to procrastinate a lot, but you know, after going through the experience, I find it that I really enjoy it, and you know that's the birth of my comic, my web comic is through the anthology series. Yes. And also, you know, from there, I also, you know, get to know a variety of artists as well, both experienced and new artists such as myself. And yeah, in the title, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
What about
thanks.
Nadrah?
Okay, so for me, I'm also like, I help to lay out the comics as well. So okay, that's another stress going in. But for my comic, I'm the type of person who does things fast. And then like for some reason, like I know like most of the artists will like procrastinate and like submit till last minute, right? I'm the type who like I'll just submit it first and then I will not think about it for the later time. Yeah, so that's why I can afford to like line art and color and everything. It's a very nice experience for me ever since. Yeah, so, and also I'm so glad that I get to share this funny story to the readers, and also like anyone who enjoy the comedy genre. Because the thing that I want to share about my story is that I just want people to reread it and laugh. That's my goal behind the comic I've made for the anthology.
Yeah, Nadrah's very good at comedy. I think like even her comic strip here, she also does a lot of like she's very good at doodling very, very cute and funny characters, and I like your expressions a lot. So very always like to see like what other comics that you come up with. I think you guys also submitted for the WIP program, right? Yeah, how was that?
I mean, the deadline is way shorter than the anthology series, right? Mine, it is easier on my end because it's based on my Dungeons and Dragons character, and I wanted to make like a origin story for the character. So the idea is there. It's just that the execution, there's time constraint, and I'm like recently busy with a part-time job and stuff. So I managed to like made it a week or two before the deadline, right? But yeah, the experience is really fun, and I would 100% will join any like comic anthology or comic contest in the near future.
As for me, right, when I heard about the WIP program, I was like, I'm not gonna join this because the deadline is so short and I have to like prepare a lot of things for SGCC, COMIX.SG stuffs. And then like my boss said like, oh, maybe Nadrah, you should submit this for WIP program. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I'm very I always tell
Lingying has ordered Nadrah to do it now. But you gotta do.
So
Sorry, Nadrah.
Yeah, that's okay. So I ended up like, oh, okay, I just tried to squeeze in the time to draw, and it's like not my like 100% effort because I'm a bit busy. So I ended up like drawing these characters in black and white format and without any screen toning or whatever. Just line art drawing and also like wordings. Yeah, it's actually like when I drew the story, like it's meant to be the spoiler for like my sequel game. Yeah, but the thing is, I'm glad that I'm not gonna show it to anyone else. I'm just gonna show it for that WIP program itself. So now that that's done, I'm like, okay, that's nice. You won't know the story. Only the judges know.
Spoiler for them.
But I think it's I don't know if you guys feel this way. I think that it's good to have these deadlines every now and then because it forces you to like kind of like get it together and like prepare something to submit. I mean, of course, like as an artist, like you don't want to let go of your baby. But at the same time, it's nice to produce the works and let the judges or like let other readers interact with it. I guess that's what the WIP program is all about. And with that, I also want to say thank you to the WIP program for supporting our podcast this season. Because I think SGCC is doing things a little bit differently now. They are trying to support more of the local scene and local comics development. So WIP is a big part of that. And yeah, we're very proud that our anthology artists are also participating in the WIP program. And this is something that can happen every year. I mean, ideally, like if you guys can create new works every year for the program, you can always participate every year.
To end off today's episode, I'm very curious because I get the chance to talk to you guys about this. Which one do you think is our best podcast episode, and what else do you want to see from us?
Like specifically season 1 or
both are
anything that has come out
Anything.
so far.
okay, the first podcast was a historical event.
Oh,
I feel
why?
Because it's the first podcast is like, you know, the setting stone, you know, for like the years to come, hopefully, you know. And you know, there's Dan Wong, you know, shout out to him, you know, my favorite lecturer back in NAFA.
We have
And,
NAFA booth at SGCC, yes.
Yeah, and Arjun, the man, the myth, the legend. You know, I admire his work, and you know, I follow him and everything. And also the latest one,
Queen Natasha.
Queen Natasha. Very, very informative. Very informative, and I learned quite a lot. And I kind of want to learn the you know the method, the focusing
Pomodoro method.
Yes. I wanna try that like someday.
Great for productivity. Although I heard like it's really for some people. Some people don't like it. But
I mean, you won't know until you try.
you won't know
right?
until you try.
Yeah,
I've tried so
yeah.
many iterations, but you can watch the episode to find out more about like what I did. Yeah.
For me, my favorite episode is the latest episode actually.
Queen also.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Because I don't know why. Like, okay, my job as COMIX.SG is to like watch like episodes many times to see the errors and then get back to the producers to change it and all that. But when I watch Queen Natasha's episode, right, it doesn't seem so daunting. I mean, like it's very interesting that I would actually like watch the whole troop without like any pauses in between. Yeah, so it's like, I don't know how to say. Like her personality is so friendly. Like she knows
Queen is so friendly.
Queen's personality is really like amazing. Yeah.
She's so sweet.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
also a really great artist, of course. So do check her out.
Yeah, and the part where she's like merging this her science and also into art, I also find it very interesting as well, because I never anticipate that, especially for a comic itself. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, like, a lot of times when we host people on the podcast, we don't really go by, like, as in, we try to work with people who are doing interesting things in comics. We don't really go with, like, say, who we like or who we know. A lot of times, the first time we meet them is the comics podcast shoot itself. But I think Queen, right, when she came in, all of us were just like we all just like fell in love. Like, I don't know. Like, I think
She
was
charmed
very... Her charms are really I don't know, it's like something else lah. I think Zoo is
I could see
Zoo's a bit like that as well.
was like so charmed by Queen. It was so funny.
Yeah, sorry,
like,
this never happens with the male artist. I don't know why. But okay, never mind. That's a separate matter.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe we can talk about that one day. But I think the podcast has really developed quite like. It has changed a lot since its first episode from, you know, when I was the host for the first one. I remember like even for myself, I was a lot more like awkward, more stilted, and like over time, with like feedback also from our producers at Playbox, you know, Shafiq, Basil, and from Lingying, and also, you know, with experience and learning, I think the podcast has also changed to hopefully become more casual and fun. And I think like over time, we also want to see how we can further explore the format and see what else we can do with it, because like there's a lot of things to talk about with regards to comics and even with regards to pop culture. And I think like there's a lot of space for where this podcast can go further. And I don't know what else Lingying has in store as well.
Yeah. I think the important thing I want viewers to know is just that like season 2 is going to be like a completely different level from season 1. I feel like the content that we're doing, the fact that we're a bit more relaxed and I've become much more unhinged, is also changing the nature of the podcast a bit. So like, yeah, I hope people look forward to watching the rest of season 2. And I really hope that we get to do a season 3.
Yes, please.
It's not a sure thing. It's not a sure
Lingying
thing.
is gonna have it.
Yeah, I'm still trying to like figure out the funding and and all that, but we're really like fingers crossed. Like we're really trying to do season 3. At the most, it'll just become super low budget, but you know, we just hope to keep you know, doing what we're doing and creating good
Next
content for
season,
you
no
guys.
more video. You just hear our voices only.
Yeah, next season maybe we're just gonna like sit on the floor, you know.
We just
in the
snack
office.
around. No, wait, no, snacking is bad for sound. Okay, we don't eat,
Crunch.
but ASMR, we ASMR and talk about comics.
Yeah, and then we record in our phones.
What is that? Mukbang while talking about comics. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see in season 3 what changes. Okay. I think the setup has already changed. Like Basil, Shafiq, they told us that they've already rearranged the entire studio, so we don't know like what's gonna come next. So anyway, you guys should just stay tuned. Okay. Yeah, so I think that's where we'll end off for today. It was really fun chatting with you guys.
It's an honor. It's an honor.
Yeah, it's also really, really exciting for us here to be at SGCC. It's already day 2, so there's still a long day left because we started at 10 a.m. And I think let's see where COMIX.SG will go from here. And I think that's all for today. So see you guys next time. Make sure you check us out on Instagram. Follow, join our Discord as well. Leave a like, comment. We love to hear from you guys. So we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Bye.